Several years ago, District 9 came out and it was a surprise hit. Sadly, it is one of those movies that I regret not seeing in theaters. So when the next movie by the same director was coming out, I decided not to miss out this time, but I was disappointed. Elysium had left both audiences and critics with mixed feelings. Elysium's about when, in the distant future, Earth is overpopulated and a mess. The wealthy decide to make an Earth-like paradise above Earth called Elysium. When the ex-con Max, played by Matt Damon, gets cancer, he only has 5 days to live unless he can get cured on Elysium. Elysium is one of those movies that there are so many things I love about it, but then there are a lot of things I dislike about it. The stuff that I loved were the great effects and the realistic look of everything, but that's about it. The story is very political and definitely hurts a lot. For one, they're trying to make the rich look bad. Let me ask you this, if the neighborhood that you're living in was going to hell, the logical thing to do was to move out of the neighborhood. I can't blame them for being apprehensive towards people breaking into Elysium, because how would you like if a bunch of people invaded your house to use your medical supplies that you rightfully earned? A noticeable plot hole is that if they had to deal with this all the time, you thought they would have a better security team. Then you have the characters. Most of them are not that interesting and their acting is not their best either. The only character that seems to stand out is one of the villains named Kruger, played by Sherito Copley. Finally, unlike District 9, it's not as well paced for a movie that's under 2 hours. I didn't like how it turned out because of this guy becoming the leader of Elysium. Again, I must ask you, how would you like it if some person that you didn't know about with a notorious criminal record took over your city or town and said that he was your leader without your consent? Sympathizing with illegals, universal healthcare, and demonizing the upper class. Do I smell socialism? But not including those problems, this movie reminded me of another movie called Metropolis. Like Elysium, they do address that there was a terrible gap between the rich and the poor, but in the end they both agreed that they must work together in order to prosper. But here, it's just one class taking force and basically saying my way or the highway and leaving the classes divided. So in conclusion, Elysium may please people with particular political agenda, but in that way it sort of isolates audiences from enjoying it as well. Definitely not the worst movie I saw this year, but it's one of those movies that I wish I would have waited until it came to video. On a final note, there were some cool scenes, and I was engaged in what was happening from time to time. I give Elysium 2.5 stars out of 4.